This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys. So yesterday we saw PyTest, and way we were like testing original function. We have created a function to test another function, and in the test function we have some use cases, and we are importing PyTest and running it so that it tells us how many test cases failed and passed. So that's all about unit testing. I mean, PyTesting. I want to tell you guys. So now let's go back to OOPS. Um, I hope you guys remember what is class, inheritance, abstraction, and polymorphism. We should get a bit more strong in OOPS. So let we have seen what is inheritance abstraction with few examples. Let's now build a project using OOPS so that will get more stronger. So today I'm going to build a game using a deck of cards. So computer game, something like that. So OOPS is always used to solve a most complex problem um, for a robust and complex application. So now let's see a simplified version of it, like game, where this game is all about two players who will initially they'll split the deck of card into two. They split it half and each take the half. And what they do after they get half the deck of card, they remove one card and they put it down and they compare which card has the highest value. So the player with higher card, for example, if they are putting two cards down, one is two and another is three, then the person who had put down three is a winner, and he takes both the card with him. So he wins both the card. So at the end, the person with higher card is a winner, and the person who lost all the card is not a winner. So something like that. So for that, initially I'll create a class. Okay. So before creating class, I'll create few variables. Let me share the screen. So here I'm going to declare some outside variable, which is actually won't change. I don't want to change this variable when some program runs, when some logic runs. So I'm going to declare some variable which will never change, which I don't want to change at all. So, so you all know what all the suits we have in cards. We have four types of suite: hearting, diamond, spade, and club. So I'll be giving it here. Then I'll have numbers, right? So I'll keep it as ranks. Mm, so these are the different cards we have. Apart from different color and symbol, we have numbers in it. Uh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jack, Queen, King, Ace, and we don't have number one right in the card. And later, I'm telling what are the values of it. So here I would need a dictionary because I want to tell what is two and what is ace. Ace is the highest point card, right? It is 14. It has highest, and this is the order you rank the Jack, Queen, King, K, Ace. So, so these are the variables I want to declare outside. And now let me create a class because later we will be creating an object, right? If two-person are playing and we have different object, but we want a class before that. So I am creating a class called card. So usually what happens when you have a class, you will have one init method in it, right? Which is a constructor. So here, each card will have two values associated with it. One is suit and the other is rank, right? When you have a card, you have to tell which category it belongs to, whether heart, diamond, spade, or club. And the second thing is the number on it. So here the card will have suit and rank. And you know what I'll be writing inside this constructor method? So since values is a dictionary, if I wanted to know what is value for this key, here two is key, right? So I want if I have a card which is Jack, I want to know what is a number associated with it. So I'll call values of Jack, right? This is a dictionary and I'll be giving key. If I give key, it will give me the value, right, associated with that particular key. So that is what we are getting here because here the game is about comparison of the numbers, right, which is having highest number. If you just have 1 to 10, then you need not have this dictionary at all in place. But since we have some other face card which has face in it, not number, it has Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. So here you have to, but every player will know what is the number of Jack Queen, right? The order they know. After 10, what is 11, they know. So that's what we are trying to tell here, that these are the numbers in order. So whenever you get a card, it will go and check what is the number associated with the card, and then it compares which is the highest number, and the person who drops that highest number is a winner of that particular turn, right? So here I'm just as I want to print something, so I'm just printing return. So if I pick some card, it will tell what is a rank and what is a weight it has. You just when you pick a card, what two things you will see: what color, what symbol, and what is a number, right? So that's what it is going to tell when a card is picked. Okay. Imagine that you don't have the half the deck in your hand, but you have it inside a machine, which will give one card at a time. Okay, you have some machine and it holds all your card. Instead, you have it in your hand, and each turn it is going to give you one. It is going to throw out one card for you, something like that. So in that case, when it ran, you will not know until a card is thrown, right? Even though it is your deck, you will not know what is a card thrown. So you will be throwing it down, and when you throw down upside down, you will know. Only then you will know what is a number, what is a symbol, right? So here, the user here instead of that machine, the computer is going to pick the card and put it down on the table. So then when it puts down, everybody should know what color and what number it is. So that's what this function is going to do. When a card is picked, it will tell what rank and what suite. So now I have a class. Now I can create my own object, right? For using this class. So I'm going to create my object. Let's say, for this is for example, two hearts. So how do I create an object uh, from the class? So here I just have to give the class name. Then later, the class, what are the parameters of class?
Suit and rank.
Yeah. So so here, this is a card I want, two of hearts. Then what should be my sweep? What should I give here?
Suit heart rank
Okay,
will be 2.
cool. So here I cannot give heart because heart is a value, but I have to give a index, right? Let me pull this down. Okay. So here I can't give heart, right? Here, the variable,
Zero.
okay. And what rank will have?
0.
Okay, cool. So we have two of hearts. We have created a card, two half
But
heart.
we have given as a tuple or something. It's not a list actually.
Yeah, even for tuple you can give index. Even tuple
Index.
has index.
Okay, okay.
And now, why I'm going for tuple? Tell me why. Usually we always use list, right? Why I'm going for tuple here? Any guess? Guys, come on.
Because no duplicates.
Yeah. So initially I said while creating this variable, I said I'm going to create a variable which never want to change it. I don't want to change. I don't want any of my class or object to go and change this even by mistake. So what is the difference between tuple and list? You guys know it. Come on.
Yeah.
The difference is mutable, immutable. We have learned something called a mutable and immutable, right? You cannot change the tuple. Once it's created, you can access it, but you can never add or delete a value from it. And even yeah, it cannot have duplicate. Again, more than duplicate, here the main thing is I don't want to change it. If I have a list by mistake, if I'm doing something in my code and it might change, which might miss my whole program. Because if I change this and it's for sure going to mess my program. So that's why I don't want to change it. That's why I'm going for tuple here. And okay, we have two of hearts. Okay, we have two of hearts. Now let me print it. Let me close my VS Code and open it again. Okay. Okay. So here we are printing two of hearts. Whenever I have this card to the user, it is going to print this. The user will know what card it is. Line number 15. Why didn't you use? Okay. Now, if I wanted to know only, sometime it doesn't matter whether I have hearts or diamond or spade. It's all about the number you have sometime. So what I am going to do, I want to print dot. So it is going to give me a rank 2. I can also do it this way. So it is going to, if I use this, that is my card dot value, it is going to give me number 2, right? It is going to tell me what card it is, right? So we just created a single card, but how can we create an entire deck of cards? We cannot keep, there are 54 cards in a deck. We cannot create 54 variables right now. So let's explore doing this with a class that utilizes another class called card. Let's create one more class. So instead of going and creating 54 cards here like this, I can do it in another way. Let me comment this out. So I'm going to create a new class called deck, and again any class will have in it, right? So here I'm giving a okay. So this is, note that this happens only when you create a new deck. Once a deck is created, the player is going to split it and they're going to play. After that, this class is not going to help you. This uh this is only to create a, this class is only to create a deck of card, a deck made of multiple cards. Okay, so yeah. So initially I'm creating a empty deck, all cards. Then now I'm creating an empty list which will have data later. So to create all the 54 card, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a loop which will uh, create all the cards on behalf of me, going and declaring each card, right? Like how we did for two of hearts. So I am telling for every number in suits, and so here there are two loops. We are going to create a loop inside loop, which means I'm going to tell for art, for heart in, I want all these number, all these cards, and later for diamonds, I want all these cards. Right? That's how the deck will have the cards, right? For spades, I want all the number, all these cards, and for club, I again want all these cards. So for each value, this is loop because after heart you have to go for diamond, then spade and club. But for each heart you have to have all the ranks, right? So that's why I'm creating a loop inside a for loop. Okay. So what should I give here? What my for statement should look like?
Rank in ranks.
Okay. Mhm. And now I'm going to add card to my deck. So let's say this is my deck. All cards is my deck. Here I'm going to, it's a deck, it's a list. So if I have to add a value to a list, what should I do?
Append.
Yeah, cool. So now here I'm going to call the class called card. So this card you're calling. So here when I create, where is a commented thing? When I create an object, what I'm doing, I'm calling the card and I'm giving two values, rank and sweet, right? Similarly, what I'm doing here, I'm creating, instead of creating one card, I'm creating a list of cards. That's why I'm appending. And here I'm using cards with rank. So here, one initially it will be heart in. Here I need not give the index because my for loop will take care of it. It is going to take one suit after the other, one rank after the other. So I'm not giving index like how we are doing it here. Do you need to change deck to deck of card? Deck. Yeah, we can do that. But what I'm trying to do is I'm not going to create a child class, but I'm just going to call a class card. So why, when do you go for child class? If a parent class is vehicle and the child, you have two child class, one is car and one is um, bike, then you go for child class. You're going to inherit their property. But here, I don't want to inherit anything. I'm just going to use this class to create all my cards. For example, if you have a class called animal, which is a parent class, you will have two child class, dog and cat. They will share some properties, right? Animal class will eat. Dog class also will eat. Animal class will eat something, some all vegetation, all non-veg, all those things. Dog will eat meat and bone. Cat will eat fish and milk. But the what they eat differs, but all eat. And all the animal is going to produce some sound. They're going to talk. So animal class will talk, and but dog class will bark, and cat class will meow. So they are sharing the properties. But here I'm not sharing. I'm not a child of parent card, so that is why I'm not giving deck of card here, but I'm just using the class card to create all my cards, because I see here you have your you are creating your own card, one single card, and you're calling a, here you're creating an object and you're calling a card class, and you're passing value. Similarly, I can create many other card, right? Instead of doing it multiple lines, I'm just using for loop and I'm putting it inside a class. That's all. And here we just anyway using referring card class to create our own card. Is it clear now, Tilly? But your doubt is a valid doubt. But the thing is here, I'm not going for this child class. I'm just using one class inside another. Okay. Then once you have a set of card, you're going to shuffle it. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen if you don't shuffle? What will be there inside your all cards? It will have hearts 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 till ace, and diamond 2, 3, 4, 5 till ace. Then when you distribute it one after another to the user, what will happen? The user 1 will have hearts of 2, the user 2 will have 3. So always the user 2 will win, because user 1 will have 4 and user 2 will have 5. So that's why we are shuffling it here. If the method created inside a class is not having variable parameter, then also you have to give self, right? That is why I'm giving self, because it doesn't take any parameter here. So I'm using a method, inbuilt method called random, which will shuffle, which will pick. So what does a random do? If you have um, if you have a bag of 5 balls and each ball is of different color, random will pick some random number. It is not going to see and pick it in order. Okay, the order is red, blue, green. It is not going to pick red, then blue, then green. It by default it is going to bring some random thing. It might be blue, or it might be red, it might be green, anything. It is not in an order. So to use this variable, so let's see here, it's telling random is not defined, because here we are calling, let me input it because it's an inbuilt. So what I'm, so random shuffle is my action, which is inside random. Okay. Yeah, what I'm going to shuffle all my cards. All my cards are there inside this all cards, right? So I'm going to shuffle. So this is inbuilt. Okay. So after we shuffle, what we are going to do, what our computer has to do, consider it as a machine. We have one small machine where we put all our card inside it. After shuffling, it has to pop one card, right, to each player. I mean, it has to throw one card. So here, since we have a list, we are going to pop one card at a time. Okay, so we are going to take one card on the top and going to put it on player one and one on player two. So we are going to do that here. So after we shuffle, I'm going to take one card at a time, which is nothing but popping. Pop will do from the last index, right? It is going on the top. What is there in the top? Consider now list as a heap of cards. So you're going to take on top. From top, what you're going to take one card, which is nothing but an element in a list. If you want to take one element out of a list, that is the last element, then you go for pop, right? You are removing one from the list and you are putting it outside. Okay, so we have class called card. Using that, we are creating our own deck. Okay, so now I'm creating an object, my deck equal to deck. So here I'm creating my own deck. So my deck is created. My deck is created, which means um, this is called, right? When I create an object using this class, what happens? The constructor method, a self init method is called. When this is called, what happens? We are actually creating a deck of card, a set of card, which will have all these values inside it, right? So let me check how many cards I have in my deck. My deck is created here by just giving this one statement. My deck is created. So inside my deck, where my cards are stored, it is inside all cards, right? This is my variable inside my deck. So this variable, only that holds my cards, right? Let me save this. So what would be my length of my deck? How many cards do you think it will have? Guys, how many cards, how many elements will be there inside this list? All cards is a list and we are adding
56.
these. Sorry? Yeah, correct.
56.
52. 52 because we have 13. We have 14 for, sorry, 14 into 4.
4. 56.
Right.
14 into 4 is 56, right?
Sorry. Actually, this is not 14. This is 13. Since the number is starting from 2 here you are saying 14. But
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 into 4.
Yes.
Okay. I have to print this out. So it's showing me 52. Okay. So now let me go and see. Now I'm not shuffling anything. I just created a deck of card. I just use this method because whenever I call the class, this method is called in by default, right? So I have created a deck of card. Let's see what is there. The first card is there in the this list. What this is nothing but list, right? I'm just showing deck of card, but Python wise it is a list. Let's see what is there in the list. What is the first element of the list? That is what is the first card in the deck. It will be two of hearts, right? It will be two of hearts. So it is having two of hearts. Now I know. Let's also see what is the last card in my deck. So I should give 51, right? Even though we have 52 elements, the index will end at 51. Let's see what is that. I assume it should be club of ace. Okay. Ace is not defined. Why this name ace is not defined? What happened? First, you're going to call rank and then speed. In rank, ace is 14. Ace, okay. Self dot rank ace and self dot speed. For suite in suites and rank in ranks. Dot suite, comma rank. What is a mistake here? Mm, my deck all parts 0. My deck is not defined. What happened? Before it was showing me the output, right? What happened suddenly? Let me comment this out. Okay, 52, two of hearts. King of clubs, okay. King of clubs. Ace of clubs, okay. Some problem with the VS code. I didn't do any change, but it's working now for them. So yeah, so we after creating a deck, we verified whether my deck is correct, what I'm expecting it to be. So initially, I check what is the length of the deck, and also I am checking what is the first card and the last card. If my first and last card are same, then all the cards are in the order, right? So now I want to shuffle my deck. Later, what I'm doing, I'm shuffling it. Okay. So guys, you might be thinking, how would I know whether I have to create this shuffle, deal one and all? So what I did initially, while I really created this program initially, I created a class, then I created just card, then I started playing. Then I realized that it was, I mean, it was distributed in order and always when a player two is winning. So we haven't shuffled. Then I was thinking a way to do it. Then I implemented this. So that's how you do. You fail. If I go in that way, you know how I created, it might take 3 to 4 hours for me to complete this program because that's long it took for me to complete this. So that's why I'm not going in that way. I'm just straightforward giving you all the method and then that I'm just calling. But when you are designing your own program, own logic, you would be doing the way which I did before. Like, I mean, not in the class. I was doing it personally alone, and that time I took nearly 3 hours. I faced so many error, and I was thinking, what happened? What should I do? What should be the solution? So all those things we will go through when you're doing it on your own. But now I'm just going to show what I did. This will give you an idea, insight, how you can create your own game, and also how this class is that useful in Python. So after shuffling, I wanted to know what is my first card, okay? Because after shuffling, my first card will not be, we cannot predict, right? How we predicted before that the first card would be two of hearts and the last card would be club of ace. We cannot predict it now because we will not know what is there in the first card. Let's see what is there. Every time when I print this, it would be something different.
All cards.
So it is telling Jack of Hearts. Let me rerun this. It is telling Nine of Hearts now because every time I rerun this, the line number 33 is running again and again. So it will again shuffle. Now Nine of Hearts is there, but when I create a deck again it is going to create a new deck. When I rerun this program, it is going to create a new deck in order. The cards will be in the order, then it will shuffle. Each time the shuffling will result some different value, right? If each time you shuffle, you will see some different card on the top. So that's how we see here. Sometimes the same number also can repeat what happened. Okay. Okay. Jack of club. Now we have a card. We have created our own card, set of card, and we have shuffled it, and we can pop one card at a time. Now what we have to create is we have to create players, and you have to split the card and give to the players, right? So let's create a player class because using that class we might create two different objects instead of creating two players separately and just creating one class, and later I can create a number of objects using that class, right? So let's create a player class. The player class, what the player should do, the player should hold a card. Now what happened, there is a mission, a card mission, where I'll open my card from the carton and I'll put it inside the machine. The machine will shuffle and it will distribute the card to two player. After that, the player should hold his half deck. The half deck will be there with one player. He should hold all the card with him and he should pop one card at a time and throw it down, right? These are will be the methods of actions of player. The player should what all the action the player. I've already said that when you do something which is a verb, when you do something which is a verb, which is it is called a method here. So the player has to play. In play, what he does usually, he hold all the card, then he removes and throws one down on the table. So now, initially when you create a class, you will have init method. So I'm creating it. A player should have their own name only, then later we can declare which player won the game. It can be player one, player two, but we should have some name associated with that. And when a player is new, he will not have any card in his hand. So I'm giving dot his deck of cards. Whatever he has in his hand will be empty. Okay. And later what the player should do, and we remove one card from the list of card. Okay. And he is having a shuffled card. Now he has to take the card in order, right? While you're playing a game, the player cannot take a card from the middle. He'll be always choosing some card from the top. So based on his luck, he will win or lose, right? He cannot choose. He doesn't have that option. So now he has shuffled card. Shuffled card will be stored inside all cards. Okay. In for that particular player, a variable will be there, his own private variable called all cards. Inside that, he will have a shuffled half of 52 cards. Okay. In that card, what he has to do, he has to choose a top card and throw it down, right? So that he will do this here. Remove one. So he is going to pop one card. So what we are doing here, so I have created list one and list two. Now let me check. So it is giving me the type is list. Even if the list is empty or it has some value, the type is list, right? So here I'm telling the type of new card should be a list. If I give open and close bracket, it nothing but a list. So I'm checking. So I have a method called add cards. Okay, and it has two parameters, self and new cards. New card is nothing but a card, a list of card you want to hold, which that user has to hold, right? And here I'm the next line number 46. What I'm doing, I'm checking whether the type of new card, the parameter I have is a list. Okay, if list, if it is a list, I'm doing something. If it is not a list, I'm doing something else. I'm checking if it is an empty list. Okay, I'm checking if the type of this card is a empty, if it is empty. Okay, and if it is empty, then I'm going to if a card is a list and if it is an empty list, this will be executed. And if it is not, then you will be adding something. So here, imagine a player is A. He is going to remove one card when he has to play, and he is having all cards, right? Um, Initially, the list will be empty, right? This list will be empty. Now, we are checking whether his list, how do I say this? So, when he is having all his card, we have a variable called all of his card, a half deck of card, okay? That is initially empty. Okay, when he receives a card, how he will receive one card after another from the machine, right? The machine will not give take here is your half deck. The machine is not going to give that way. The machine is going to throw one card to player A and one card to player B, and that repeats, right? A B it gives one after another. So initially we are checking whether this, so when he receives one card after other, that I'm declaring as a new card. But when he collects all his card in his hand, when the machine stops throwing card, the machine completed throwing a deck of card to both the player. So what happens at that time, the machine will empty, its work is done. Now the user will have half deck of card in his table. He would collect one card after another and he will put it inside his, he will hold everything together in his left hand, right? So that's what I'm trying to do it here. So um, what I'll do is so this hard cards is a method here, but this is a variable. Okay. So this method is going to add cards to this variable. So this method is going to pick one card from the table and keep it in his hand, one after the other. When he receives a new card from the machine, which is shuffling and throwing a card at the players, he's going to pick from the table and keep hold it in his hand. So that's what he's doing here. Is it clear, this function, this method? So what is the difference between extend and append? So there are chances that the The player will receive one card at a time from the machine and he'll be collecting it and putting it in hand. He might take one card after another, or he might, after the machine throws all the card on the table, he might take a bunch of card, which is nothing but in Python world we are referring it as a list of card, right? List of card. So extend is a way to add multiple cards. Okay. Extend is a way to add multiple cards into all cards. Append is a way to add one card after another to your all cards. So if the list is empty, if your new card, if on the table, if it is empty, then you are going to, the machine is now going to throw. It is empty. The machine is now going to throw one after another, and the player will pick one card after another and add it to his left hand, which is all cards he is going to hold. If the machine already shuffled and throwed all the 52 cards, it's separated between A and B, and he throwed, and you have a pile of cards on your table, which is a list of card. If you have a new card, which is the card laying on your table, if it is a pile of card, you're going to pick all the pile, that is extent, you're going to add it to all card. Or if the machine is now going to start throwing, now you're sitting and it started throwing, then you are going to pick one card after another and you are going to put it in your left hand. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Extend is a way to add multiple elements into into a list. If you want to add a list of elements of all the list into another list, if you want to append, okay, if you want to append elements of list 1 into list 2, then you have to go for extend. Here initially my all cards will be empty, right? All cards in either case, whether the machine, when you're going to sit in your table for playing the game, if the machine had already dropped all your cards on the table, or if you are sitting just now, the machine is going to throw one card after another to you. In either case, your all cards will be, your left hand will be empty. So depending on whether the card is thrown already or it is going to throw this, it will choose. That's all it's going to do it now. Yeah, okay. Any doubts here? I know this is a bit complicated. Any doubts, question in this method? Is it clear? Okay. So Sirisha, the no is for is it clear or any doubts? Which question? For which question the answer is no.
I mean, no doubts.
Okay. Okay, slowly understanding. Yeah. So you will understand why, maybe if I remove this and I just add all the card, you will understand while running your program, you will face n number of issues. To address that, I have come up with that. If I have to go that way, right, without implementing this and going one step after another, then facing the error, for sure it will take next whole week to complete this program. So to avoid that, I'm doing this. But you will understand when you try out your own assignments, you will understand why this is, I'm going this way, why I'm written this way. Okay. So now this statement is going to tell whether which player has how many cards with him. So yeah, we have created a card method, then a deck method, and also a player player class. We have created three classes which are needed for our game. So now I'm going to create one player. So how do I create one player? So I have to go and use a player class. So here I'm telling Juice is equal to player. So what is the parameter I have to pass here? Let's go and see. The parameter is name. Okay, I have to pass name. So I'm giving Juice. Okay. So this statement is going to create your object, which is nothing but a player, and later I'll print. Since I have given this str, this line will be printed. Okay. The player Juice has 0 cards. So initially he has 0 cards. Okay, because it is going here, going and creating what it does when you create when the line number 44, what it does, you're calling a class. So immediately it will go to the constructor method inside that class. So this is a method. So it's assigning a name. Initially all his cards are empty, right? And whenever you have this underscore underscore str, that will be printed by default whenever you call this, whenever you create a object. Whenever you create an object, if you have such method called underscore underscore str, it is going to print something like it's like a name board for that particular object. You have a name board outside your home, something like that. So here this is a name board. It whenever you call this, the name board displays. So here it is telling player name has uh, how many cards. Initially your cards will be 0, right? Because you haven't called any other method to pick to create a deck or split the deck. Nothing is happening now. You're just creating a player and the player is having empty set of cards in his hand. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, remember we had two of hearts. We have created two of hearts here. Where is that? Oh, yeah, here. I'll put it somewhere here. Okay, and I will uncomment them. So I want to add this two of hearts to my player. Okay, what I'll do. So to add, so here I have created a card. Here using this class, I have created a card. Now I have to add this card to my player. So this is a method, right? Add cards. So here I am telling choose this object, add cards. Okay. So which card I have to add? Two of hearts. That's how I have defined it, right? Okay, two of hearts. So when it's going to the card method, so it gets a new card, right? Because you're going to give a card. If this new card is a single card or multiple deck, multiple card, whether it is a deck, if it is a single card, it goes and append. Okay, so it goes and append this card to all card. Okay, so what happens when you have new card? Now I guess still you will understand this much better. Shift left. Okay. So here I have a variable card, new card. Okay. So this variable, this is a parameter for this card. Parameter is nothing but a variable. It will have some value inside it, right? Any parameter is nothing but a variable which will have hold some value. So here inside this method, I have to pass this variable. I'm passing this variable as two hearts. So this variable is going to hold this value, right? So here my new card is two of hearts. Maybe I have to give like this. Okay. My card is two of hearts. I can without string without this also I can give. Okay. So here, while calling this add card, I'm just giving 2 of hearts. Okay. Now I'll press enter. Now I want to check the type of new cards. It is going to tell it is a str string, right? If in case I'm going to add multiple card, so for example, I want to add multiple, I want to give multiple cards to Geos. Let it be, since I have created only one card, I will give the same card again and again, okay? So if I have to pass, I cannot pass if this is one variable, okay? For example, if you have diff add a comma b, so what happened? Okay, def add. So consider I have a function called def add a comma b. It has some logic inside it, okay? So if I have such function, I can call this function later, right? I can give add 1 comma 2. I can give like this, correct? But if I have def add a, okay, in that case, sorry, it's throwing so many error. Where do I then show? Okay, so if def is having a only, okay, in that case I can only call by giving one value, but sometime I have to give multiple cards because the player might receive one card at a time, sometime he might receive multiple card, a deck of card. So I cannot give 1 comma 2 comma 3 to him, right? I cannot do this. I cannot call this function and pass multiple value for a single a. I cannot pass. But what I can do, I can do this way: add. Here it will not throw me an error because this is a single element, single list, right? A single list can be given to a single variable, right? Inside a you can save, so you can save a equal to, you can save this 1 comma 2 comma 3. It is not going to throw any error, okay? A 1 comma 2 comma 3. Actually I don't know why this is accepting, but usually when you give like this, it is going to throw an error, right? You cannot give multiple value for single variable. Multiple integer you cannot pass, but you can pass one single list, right? So here, to pass multiple card, to give multiple card to my player, I can use 2 hands. What happened? So let me run this. Why this is creating issue? Okay. So now you see it is throwing an error that add cards takes, it cannot take 4 argument, right? It cannot take four. I mean, I have already said whenever you give self here, it is also one argument. But while you are calling, you need not give self. Python indirectly gives some value for self. So it is considered now as two variables are there, but you are passing values because you're passing 3 and Python is giving some value for cells. So altogether 4 values. So you cannot do that. But if I comment this out and if I do this way, so it is not going to throw me any error, right? So in this case, what happens? I can pass a list or I can pass one single value, right? So that is why here I'm checking if the type is list, if the new card, whatever I'm receiving, right? This is new card, right? Whatever I pass it here will be saved inside new card. So after you receive and save the value here, it is going to check if the type is list. If it is a list, it is going to extend. It is going to add a list into a existing list, empty list, which we have already declared here. Okay, line number 45. So if it is not a list, then obviously it is one single value, right? If it is one single value, I can go for append because using append, you cannot add multiple card. You cannot add a list of card into another card using append. It is going to throw an error. So for example, if I didn't give this condition and all, I'm just giving whenever you get a new card, append it to my card. And when I give this line 65, it is going to throw me an error because append cannot be used to add a list of card into a list. So that is why I'm checking whether a given is a, when I check the type of this line 63, when two hearts is passed to new cards, when I check the type, it will not be list. So this condition will be false. So it will go directly to else condition. It will add this value to a list. If if in case line 65 is executed, what will happen? It will check, save the value into new card and it will check whether it is a type of list. Yes, it is true. Then it will, what it does extend. If for type of list it is doing append, it is going to throw an error. Okay. Whether it is going to throw an error or not, but how it will be added, if I have A, if I have a list and I'm going to add it to another list, then what will happen? If I keep adding A, then B. If I keep adding, but usually what happens, my B will look like this. Inside a list, there will be a list 1, comma 2, comma 3. Then it will be having one more list 1, comma 2, comma 3. While popping, I'll face issue. While popping, I cannot directly, if I give pop the last element, it is going to pop 3 cards at a time. It is going to pop this element because this is considered as one single element, though it is a list. It is going to pop all 3 cards and put it on the table, right? That is actually a wrong way of playing. So that is why I'm giving this condition. So is it clear now why I'm going for this? Okay, guys, I can end it here because it's too late for Sam and Tilly. But I hope you got a clear understanding. I want you guys to understand these 4 lines. So that is why I have created these examples. Sam, do you understand this? I didn't get any reply from you. Okay. Okay. Let's leave this here. I'll park this here. I'll save this. Let's see on next class what we can do with this. If you guys want class tomorrow, we can have a class tomorrow. So you guys decide later and tell me if you have any other work appointment, then we can ignore. Otherwise, we can have a class tomorrow and complete this game. So decide among yourself and tell me later in the group. So I'll be prepared accordingly. I'll just get up early and connect for the class. So if you don't have any question at all, we can wind up here. So Sirisha is fine with tomorrow class. Okay, let Tilly, Sam, and Rajita. You can discuss among yourself either in group or private. Then tell whether we need a class or not. If four of us are going to attend, then I'll connect and we can have a class. If one is going to miss, then let's not have a class because I want all 4 guys to be in the class. Yeah, guys, we can wind up here. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Rajita.
One small doubt. If we want to
Uh-huh.
execute anything in Jupyter,
Mm-hmm.
it's asking like give the URL where the Eclipse something is it's running, existing server is running. What should be given?
1 minute. I've never seen this before. Okay. So when I go to Jupyter, let me change the size. So when I go to Jupyter, it will look like this. So here, I just have to click on plus. Where is the plus? Okay. So it's adding here. So I can just give plus and how do I run this? Okay, here I have the run button. If I run, it is going to give me 3. So now what I can do, I will take
In this VS
this.
Code terminal.
You want to connect VS Code and Jupyter, is it?
Uh,
But why?
uh, is it possible like that? Just like
I
see you
never
have
tried. I never tried. But you want to. So what you wanted to do is, I understood what you are trying to do. You don't want to execute the whole program, but you want to execute part by part, and see what they are giving, right?
hmm.
Okay. So in that case, I'll copy this class and I'll put it here. Okay.
Hmm.
Then, so regarding this class, what we are doing, where we are using this class. Okay, here I'm using this class. I'm not going to execute all my thing. I'll just execute. Okay, first I'll execute this. So I'm creating an object for the class. Okay. Okay, suits is not there. Okay.
Yeah, we should give all this stuff.
Okay. Okay. So I have declared this is anyway you have to do. Without this, you cannot run any part of the code. So this and this is where you have to give. And I've created an object. Okay. Now I want to run only this. Where is that here? I can run this. What happened? Actually, this page, I want a new page. File, new notebook. Okay. 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 So I'm first creating variable, then class, then object. Okay. So you have to create all this thing. Without this,
Hmm.
we can't do anything. And okay, till now we are not going to see any output. But now I need not give print. Print is not required in Jupyter Notebook. So I'll just give two of. I'll run this. of hearts is not defined. Okay. Okay. So as soon as you copy, you have to run it so that the value is saved into memory. So now I'm not giving any print line and all. Okay. And I want to give to a fans. This how you, why do you need I mean in what case you can go for Jupyter Notebook is while I was creating this program, I didn't create directly in notebook this I mean VS Code, because every time I have to go and execute, right? And I have to
Hmm.
write print multiple these and all is not required for me at all. This only for showing you guys I've created this, but in real program I'll not going to create one single card. But for checking purpose whether the card is creating properly initially, when I created the class I want to check this class whether I have created everything properly. So in that case, I have to write this and test it out, right? So instead of doing it here in VS Code, if I do it here, I need not give this print and all print, and I need not run it multiple times. So I just have to give this and run. So in that case, I can run multiple and see. But after that, later I'll go to VS Code and save whatever I have created here, I'll save it here. Um, but yeah, you have to go this way only. You have to do this. But you want to see the execution, you can copy and put it in Tony, the whole code. It will show you bit by bit how the process is going on. VS Code is going to go show you all the final output. But if you want to change some value and try, you have to do this way. I don't know how to import anything. Let's see. Okay, this is all about notebook. This is all about cell. Run kernel settings. I don't think we can import any code from VS Code or .py, any .py text file directly here. See one export, revert. Okay, I don't see that option here. Maybe I'll check with my teammates if any of them use this notebook to import their Python code directly. I mean, whether they have saved in .py file and they have imported it completely here. I'll
Okay.
check. But why do we go as the one thing we go for Jupyter is for the data analysis people, they see they need Jupyter. So
Immediate
here
output.
they want, yeah, we will get output immediately, and later we can do something. If I wanted to teach, I will go for sometime I'll go for notebook. So here instead of the cell, there is an option to create a text also. Where is that? See here, the content is there and also the code is
Hmm.
there. So
Okay.
I can put like now I'm going to create a class for player. I have create I can create my words and then later I can put the code snippet. For that purpose we sometimes go with a notebook. So each code will be explained. You can go for that, otherwise you can put the comments also here. You can put it in the way of comments, or it will be more legible to read from notebook, like they have different size, right, for font, all these things. So it is nothing but comment. You see here, this Jupyter notebook is nothing but comment if I go inside. But but now it is saved like this. So Jupyter notebook, it shows your comment in a different way. Whatever I'm writing here, no, sometime I'll write here some comment that
Yes.
this is a class, something like that. So that comment is shown in a different way. So it looks like a Word or note, a PDF for the user who is using it.
Oh. And one more small doubt in this file
Mm-hmm.
handling error program, right?
Mm.
Exception. There, when I found that, I saw like only the unbound local error, local file error, something. If I just give that exception, the whole program was running normally. Yesterday, one
Mm.
homework one, right? You please check mine,
Okay,
what I
I'll
have
open
seen.
yours 1 minute. Give me a
Mm.
time.
Can.
Give me some
So
time.
what?
I'll open.
Then
1 minute. 1
stop
minute.
recording also.
No, this anyway will help them. Okay, I'll open your mail.
Might be wrong, but I don't know. I just gave that unbound local error. The output was normal.
Okay, I'm just copying your your program. Okay, I'm copying yours and I'll put it here. Okay, except unbound local error. But from where did you get this unbound local error?
When I was executing the given program,
Uh-huh.
I got that issue. So I wanted to accept that one.
But there is some typo error. Maybe the capital small letter is. Let's search that 1 minute. So this N is not.
It is small letter, I think.
So that's why you see here it is yellow color. See, now it's gone. That yellow color is gone. With this
Yes.
also, it will now work. It is not going through any error to you
Yeah,
with
that's
this
what I'm
file now.
asking. Like, is this one exception enough or other exceptions you have given in the program, right? File input, output error. How
Okay,
do we
okay,
know that those
okay.
all error
Correct.
exceptions?
I've said I've said something regarding this, right? 1 minute. Let me open my file handling exception.
I didn't understand that, like how to identify
Huh.
those exceptions, how to write
Okay.
like that.
Okay, I got your point. So these were the exception I have faced in the past when I was handling something with file in Python. There might be
Hmm.
some more exception also which I have never faced, which I am not aware at all because I have not gone through that situation. So if I don't know that what all the error that might occur using file or any such case, I'll remove everything else. I'll just use this. I'm just telling whenever you see exception, I just give this exception directly, okay? I'm just telling whenever you see exception, take that exception error and print it for the user. So my message will be an unexpected error occurred, and later whatever the exception, whether it is a file not found or unbound, whatever it is going to put it here. That's all. You need not know what all the exception might occur. You just can catch all the exception with this one single in these two lines in
Statement.
in these two statement you can use anywhere. You can use it for handling list exception, you can use it for handling integer type, any kind of exception you can handle using this. You just have to give this whenever exception occurs, this keyword you have to put it exactly, except exception as e. I mean, here
So,
instead of E, you can put V, B, W, any variable you can put that variable you're going to print. This is a syntax, and here you have to give exception if you're not particular about any exception name. So here you know the exception name file not found. You are giving it here, but if I'm not aware, then I can capture that exception using this line, and then whatever is captured in E will be printed. So depends on the exception it's thrown by Python, file not found, unbound, whatever exception it's thrown, that will be printed to the user.
is it required to write this try block even after the if statement here down?
Here what I'm doing is this will happen after I open and read and write, okay? But when I actually this is not required.
Hmm.
Mm,
No, just because I no issues were found after just giving that one exception. Uh,
mm.
just we need to assume and write or what is it like that? I'm just asking. All these
This
things, when
you
we
you you
experience in real time, we should assume or what to do.
correct. If you know that, see, for example, if I'm going for division in calculator program, if I'm going for division, for sure I know the only exception I'm going to face is zero by division,
Zero
right?
division error. Mm.
And there are other cases like the user might be giving some number while converting. Usually, whenever user gives a input, it will be in the string format, right? Python takes it as a string. Then later we have to convert it into integer to perform
Yes.
some operation, mathematical operation, right? If in case you don't convert it into string or the user directly given XYZ, then it is going to throw an error. The XYZ slash XYZ, it's not going to give you any output. The Python is going to throw error. In that case, the exception something related to type or something, or integer cannot be, string cannot be handled, some error. So I'm pretty sure these two might occur, okay, on my assumptions. But if I'm not sure what all might occur, I can put everything, all my logic inside try. So I'm telling, um, not just for division, even for multi, plus will work with string because the plus symbol will act
Concatenate.
as a concatenation. But for minus, for multi, star, asterisk, and all, it will not work. So instead of thinking of all the scenarios, I'll put everything inside one try block. So whenever an error occurs while executing any of line in the try block, so whatever is given in the try block, if any exception occurs for that particular line, then you can accept it later as an exception. So what you do, first you write your program, then at the top of your logic put try colon, and if you have try at the end, you should have except. If you want, you can add finally, but if after the law, if you put try on top of all your logic, at the end you have to do except. So if you know you can do like this way, you can do this. If you're not sure, but again, if you're lazy, that you're thinking that why should I handle multiple exception with multiple line? I can do everything with one single line. Then why do you have to go and print everything else? You can directly put it here. But the problem here is the exception error description given by Python will be printed here to the user, but you want to
Mm.
change it. For example, I really don't remember what exactly the Python tells for zero division error. But if I want to tell my user that you have given the denominator as zero, so please give a valid number greater than one, greater than zero for the denominator. In that case, I can put zero division error here, and I can give my own message, right? If I don't
Yes.
say, if I don't group every exception like this, if I want, I can handle it separately. So it depends on you. It depends on the program. If you want a particular exception to be handled properly and you want to print your own message, then you have to go for this. You can go for this, and you can give. So here you are telling input file not found. I really not sure what description this will give. Okay, you can change the description if you want to handle everything. The only drawback is whatever the description given by Python will be printed here. A Python developer might understand, but the real user who is just using the program, just clicking a button in computer, I'm not sure whether he will understand, right? If in case, I'm telling as an example.
Yes. Yes.
So if you want to modify your description, then you go for this. Okay, you can go for this. Otherwise, you can go for this. Except exception will handle everything. You need not give all the exception like how I have given. But I'm just telling this is also a way to do. This is also a way to do. But easier would be always go with this. And you can write your own exception also if you want.
Okay.
Any more doubts?
Uh, that one, like in packages, while doing packages, we should write an init method separately, right?
Correct,
In a
correct,
file. So
correct.
in that file, should we mention the init
I'll
when
open
I
that file. 1 minute. 1 minute, I'll open that file. It can be empty, but
empty?
a file should be there. So this is my package, my module, okay? So
Okay.
inside that, I'll have for sure one in it, and this is one more. Okay, this is not created by me. So this is, I have this, right? I'll open it using Notepad plus plus.
Yeah, I opened yesterday. No, there was
Okay,
nothing in that.
okay. If you want, you can add something, but I'm not instructing anything. If I want to give some instruction, I can add, but that's way too complex to learn now. but you have to have one empty
Oh,
init
so we
file.
should just create a file with
A
init
name
name.
should be correct, yeah. So like how you create one init method inside a class. Whether
Hmm.
you like or not, you have to create one method, right? Even the class is not having any other method, it should have some init method. Similarly, a folder should have an init file. It is an
Init.
indication that this is a folder.
Okay, okay. Yesterday I
So if you
opened
have,
all the
okay,
programs.
so
I
here you
found.
see, here I have main package, I have init,
Hmm.
and I have one
Hmm.
more sub package, I'll have one more init inside it to indicate that sub package is also a folder.
Yes.
So it will
Okay.
tell that subscript is inside some folder, okay? And it will go one step back. And sub package is also inside one folder because you have in the same tree, in the same place, you have one more init. So you'll go one step back, but here I don't see any in it at all. So then this is not
This.
inside one more folder. It's there in the main path.
Okay. These all were my doubts. Yesterday I
Okay.
found.
Mm-hmm. What you can do when you get some time, you're opening the program which we created and you're executing, right? So okay, open one thing and execute it, then close it. You remember something while executing it, right? You remember whatever there in the code. You close it, then create your own program similar to that. For sure, you will forget something. You will not know the syntax also sometime. Okay, what should I give here? Then go and refer the old program, whatever given in the zip file. Then again recreate. Then again go and see. You will
Yes.
fail multiple times, but create your own and once at least once. For once you create your own and see. Otherwise, whatever we learn, no, everything will be gone. Nothing will stay
Yeah.
in our mind until you go and create your own. You will
Own.
understand everything, but you cannot write one.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to practice it. It will take some time. Even for to write one single small program, you will struggle for 40 minutes. That's okay. That's okay. That's really okay. It's fine. Initially, it will be like that. Slowly, you will pick the speed.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Okay. Bye.